Mic check 1 2, it's the Y2K collector. And after much deliberation, I finally nailed down all of the games that I'm actually going to be keeping out of all of the pickups that I've made so far this year. I usually don't keep loose disc games, but because I picked these up during GameStop's buy two get one, that's Sonic 2 Battle and Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm actually going to keep those two and hope that I can run into the case and manual at some point. So I'll work on completing those games. And again, when you get a game for free, especially GameCube, for me, I'm gonna go ahead and hang on to that. All of the NES games and Super NES games that I picked up, definitely staying in the collection, along with even like the lower end PS3 games. I'm actually going to be keeping those games in the collection as well. Have a couple 360, some PS2 pickups. Obviously, the big boys here, Last Resort. You all have already seen all these, right? Um, and this is kind of important because, we're getting ready to go into pretty much the second trimester of the year, as we enter into May. And this is when like yard sale, flea market, this is when things like really, really start to kick off, especially like on the East Coast and in like the northern parts of the country, because it's typically colder on this side. And people are a little bit more reluctant to get the more of the outdoors events going until things start to warm up consistently. Unfortunately, we have not seen that consistent warm up yet. It still goes from hot to cold to cold to hot. We'll have a 35-degree evening, and then like a week later, we'll have a 75-degree evening. So nonetheless, it's beautiful outside. The trees are blooming. I really love this time of year. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Just when things really start to just bloom and really become beautiful. So definitely a good time there. It is Friday, and my God, it has been one hell of a week. It's been super busy. I I'm looking forward to attempting to do some game hunting this weekend, but the truth and the reality of it is that I probably won't. In fact, I'm probably going to do more returning than anything else. I did happen to pick up a lot of games during GameStop's buy two get one, and I want to say half of the games that I picked up though are games that I'm probably not going to keep in the collection. Also, I've been able to make some in-store GameStop pickups that I don't think I'm going to be keeping either. So there are just a few things like on my list that I'm thinking about getting rid of at the moment. And honestly, a lot of it is just trying to stay balanced with what I have in the collection, and what I decide to keep in the collection, and just staying true to the genres that I'm into. I am going to be keeping the Devil May Cry, so that is going to stay in the collection. But despite the warnings from many, I am going to be returning the orange box. I just don't do the first person shooters. I know a lot of you have told me to give these games a try. And as much as I would like to, I got to stay true to me, right? I've never been a first person shooter guy, so I'm not going to start now. And I'm not going to keep it in the collection, especially if I know that I'm not going to play it. So this is actually going to be one of the games that I return amongst a few others to GameStop. And just gonna try to stay consistent with what's in the collection. Everything that you see here, a beat 'em up, Metroidvania, platformer, run and gun shooter, Metroidvania, beat 'em up, space shooter, run and gun shooter, beat 'em up, right? So these are like, that's really what I'm into. And like when it comes to like the more modern consoles, the 3D style games, with the exception of Last Resort, because that's obviously a classic shooter, you got another beat 'em up here in the Red Star, kind of like an action adventure, hack and slasher, action adventure, hack and slash, action adventure. This is one of the rare, like Mario Party 6 is one of the ones that I'll get outside of my normal genre, because this is a fun like group like party style game. Then you got the Yakuza beat 'em up, action platformer, hack and slasher, right? So there's a common theme and thread with the games that I keep in my collection, and just Half-Life and these first-person shooter games just don't fit the mold. So those are going to be going back. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of comments like, dude, what are you doing? Those are great games. I know. I appreciate everyone who encouraged me to keep those games, but just yeah, no, not gonna do it. In other news, the bathroom is complete. Thank God, man. So some normalcy will be coming back to our lives. It should be a little bit easier for me to produce some of the more formal videos that I make. You know, anyone who watches the channel, you know, pretty much like Monday through Friday, or really Monday through Saturday, I'm doing these more kind of informal, you know, point and shoot kind of babble type of videos that I kind of do to share with the channel. But then, you know, usually on the weekend is where I kind of drop something a little more formal, just because, you know, no content creator is going to be able to create high production videos every single day unless they have a video editor or they do it full time. It's just not feasible. But I don't want to let the fact that I'm not able to do like, you know, fancy edits and things like that keep me from posting, because I really like communicating with the community and just kind of sharing my thoughts with you all. So definitely wanted to just convey that, as well as the fact that we are like less than 60 subscribers away from hitting 3K. Whoa, that's crazy. So 3,000 subs, that just seems so far for me. I really had a target of 2,600, I think, or 2,200, I can't remember, at the start of the year, because we hit 1,500 subscribers like really not that long ago. But the growth has been consistent. It hasn't been viral, which I'm appreciative of. I never really had the goal to like blow up on YouTube and you know, hit all these amazing milestones like in a day. The slow and steady growth means that, you know, the folks who are joining the channel and are subscribing are really just enjoying the content, which is really what it's about. You're enjoying the community, you're enjoying the conversation that comes in the channels, and I think it reflects just in the viewership, as well as just the participation in some of the discussions that are had on this channel. So shouts out to you. I appreciate everyone who follows the channel. You know, and like I said, once we hit that 3K subscriber count, I do want to kind of change things up. I'd like to incorporate the comments that you all leave down below into more of my videos in some way. So I am going to figure out a better strategy of being able to do that. And then also kind of engaging in deeper discussions on some things. All video game related, but I'll be tying things into video games, because of course life is about more than video games. We love video games over here. We talk about them. I love to collect them. I definitely like to play them, although I haven't had much time lately, but we'll definitely continue that. So that's all I had today. I'll have a lot more once I actually get a chance to rest and recharge my batteries between tonight and tomorrow. Gonna watch more NBA playoff basketball. I think the Lakers are gonna get swept. It sucks, but you know what? This year, I'm just gonna segue into basketball for a bit. We are actually witnessing a changing of the guard. This will be the first year in I don't know how long that neither KD, Steph, nor LeBron make it past the second round of the playoffs. I can't remember the last time this happened. But seeing that kind of makes me sad, and it kind of makes me feel a little old, because all of the players that I grew up watching are going to be on vacation pretty much after this week, while the new regime, the Lukas, the Anthony Edwards, the Jokic's, the Jason Tatums, the Joel Embiid's, like those folks, the Jalen Brunsons, we're witnessing the changing of the guard. And hopefully we don't see too many hopefully I don't see too many of my favorite players retire right away, but I do believe that we're going to see a great retirement happen soon between some of the folks that we really have enjoyed watching for a while. And, you know, oh, actually, no, I take that back. Kawhi is still in there, right? So Kawhi Leonard is still there in the playoffs. Hopefully, if the Clippers get past the Mavericks, we'll be able to see that. Kawhi and Kyrie, I guess, are still in there. But when you really think about the defining players of the era, LeBron, KD, Steph, those guys are going to be, well, Steph and LeBron are going to be preparing for the Olympics. I can't remember if KD's back on the Olympic team or not, but it's just interesting. It's just interesting. So let me know down in the comments what your plans are for this weekend. If you're playing any games, if you plan on beating any games. I got to get back on Chrono Trigger. I put it down for a while. Got to get back on it. Got to finish that one up. And then, yeah, it'll be basketball and relaxation this week. But that does it for me. It's the Y2K Collector. I'm going to go get something to eat and try to relax. Hopefully this week hasn't wore you out. Take it easy.